Good meowing, guys, gals, MBs, and YouTube catters. We're back. Another 4.0 means another updated White Forest list. Just wrapped up playing locals last night. We got the 4.0, of course, with White Forest Azamina again. This deck has seen a lot of changes since the last video, so I wanted to go over them real fast. Of course, before we get started, thank you all for the comments, likes, the subscribes, all the support on the previous videos. Decided to retool the main deck to play a lot more around the current meta, with the top three decks being Ryzeal, Malice, and Blue Eyes. I saw two of those decks last night and was able to come out with a victory. My round one matchup was against Live Twin FIENDSMITH, round two against Sharks, round three against Blue Eyes Primite, and then finally round four against Mitsurugi Ryzeal. So I think the deck performed as well as it could. The Blue Eyes matchup, I will just disclaimer, the Blue Eyes matchup's still really rough. I only barely was able to beat the Blue Eyes player. We actually went to time and I took game one. The game one took 35 minutes of the 45-minute round or 40-minute round, however long it was. Going to time in game two, I took the round. That deck grinds. That deck grinds so much, and I thought I was prepared for it this week with my side deck and new main deck and extra deck changes. But I kept them off their synchros the entire first game, and still they were able to outgrind me with just resetting their Primite stuff. So I don't know how, I don't know what else to do against that deck. So if you have any suggestions, if you have comments, how the hell do I beat Blue Eyes? Let me know down in the comments below, because you'll see here, we came in last night prepped for that matchup, and I've played that matchup so many times over the past couple of weeks to know the interaction points, and it still feels like it's never enough. So let's just get into the deck guide, and then we'll do a couple of test hands and show off the new list. So still 42 card main deck. I don't want to go above 42 until I get Mulcharmies to make the deck more consistent. Then I can see the deck going up to the 43, 44, 45 even that some competitive lists have dropped. But for now, we're just sticking at the 42. I'm trying to stay as close to 42 as possible. I've even seen some cuts to drop it down to 40 recently, but I'm worried about the percentages, the probability percentages, if I do cut it down to 40. So for starters, of course, we are on the one Stellar as always, and the triple LZ as always. I don't think these ratios ever change. Stellar is actually really good in the grind game, and it comes up. You'll see here momentarily why it comes up in the specific build as well, beyond just sacking it to Sinful Spoils Deception or Diabellstar. And then, of course, we are on the 1 LZ Azamina to round out the level 2s. Level 4s, we are on the 3 Sylvie, as always, best normal summon. If you're watching White Forest videos, then you already know this already. Best normal summon by far. And then our brand new, look at that, look at the shine, OTS Rusia. We ended up getting last night. I'm the one White Forest player at my locals, so everyone was just handing me their Rusias. So we take those W's. I have 3 of them now. So if you need a White Forest Rusia, we might do a giveaway or something. I might just send one off. So that's it for White Forest names. That is 9 White Forest names. I don't really see how you can realistically go up more names. We need more names in the deck. That's probably one of the biggest weaknesses of the deck, is just not seeing your White Forest names to start your combos, because you're nothing without the White Forest set with this deck. But there's not really a realistic way of building that. I've seen some people run double Rusia, triple Stellar, 2 of the Azamina LZs, and honestly I think those ratios are way off, and just creating more bricks in your deck. For our spells and traps, we are still on the 1 Woes, still on the 1 Scourge, and the 1 Aphis. This is probably also like the second most annoying thing on the deck. Since we're not on the FIENDSMITH package, we're not ending on like a DSE Ray or Wave King High Caesar. So we kind of have to play the Scourge. The Scourge is really good card. Don't get me wrong. The Scourge is amazing. Just with playing all 3 spells and traps, we have only 2 ways of searching. Where we have a search with Rusilia and we have a search with normal summon Rusia. So unless we open one of these cards or draw into one of these cards, which can happen, of course, you have to pick and choose like what you're searching. So mainly in boards, or if I'm going full combo, we are just searching the Scourge and the Aphis for interaction. The Woes is kind of just here to play around Droll. Like if we get Drolled, we want to go Thrust for Woes, so we have some plays next turn. The Aphis is a really good card, but it's only really good if you're already comboing, and it's kind of like a win more card. So I kind of can see this card being cut, but at the same time, ending on this with my end board each time has like completely sealed the deal as far as interaction goes into stopping my opponent. So really, I don't know what to cut from here, if anything at all. Like, each of them serve an amazing purpose. I do think being on a more spell and trap based focused deck, like a more pure version of White Forest, is fine right now, because a lot of people are hedging against the FIENDSMITH variants that have like topped and become more popular. So no one's really playing back row removal or back row hate, especially in larger tournaments. Being able to go full combo and set up these like 2 interactions plus your Sinful Spoils fusion card means that like the boards are near unbreakable. And then first change to the deck, we are on 3 Tales of the White Forest. So I mentioned that you want to see your White Forest names as much as humanly possible. So we are trying our best to hedge for that by playing 3 Tales. Now, I know Tails is a bad card. It is not a good card. It is not a good Rhoda, since it requires you to already have a spellcaster or illusion monster on the field. But this makes it to where opening Diabellstar and Tails is full combo. This makes it to where you're more likely at multiple situations I had last night, multiple games last night, only opened Diabellstar combo into Chorizo, the Diabellstar Chorizo line, and it was stuffed by Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, Imperm, you name it, whatever. So I was left with Wanted and Deception in the graveyard. And so I would have to banish Wanted, put the Deception on the bottom, and draw 1 card. And I top decked the Tails like 3 different times. Speaking of Diabellstar, we are still on the triple Diabellstar. Could honestly play it at 2, but again, this is full combo. Like Diabellstar plus White Forest Tails is full combo. Diabellstar unimpeded into Chorizo is full combo. So I really don't want to cut combo. And then we are on the triple Wanted to go with the Diabellstar. And then, of course, the 1 Sinful Spoils of the White Forest, the 1 Deception, and the 1 Hallowed, pretty standard. For hand traps, we are still on the triple Ash Blossom. And then, new change now, we are on a triple Droll and Lockbird. I think Droll and Lockbird is actually very good in this format currently. A lot of decks add. And then we are also on triple Infinite Impermanence, rounding out our 9 hand traps. So once we get to Mulcharmy Phobos, once they go down in price from their reprint, the hand trap lineup is going to change up quite a bit as well. And we're going to retool the deck 1 more time, I feel like. If I wasn't running this non-engine, I'd definitely go up in hand traps for sure. So, speaking of non-engine, we are on the Triple Black Goat Laughs. This card is great. This card is amazing. Being able to just call names to stop Ryzeal combo. Like, they add the Ryzeal X, so we just flip over Black Goat Laughs. Now you can't summon this, special summon the Ryzeal X. Or banish it to now you can't activate the effects of the Ryzeal X. It is very good. I only drew this card only drew this card versus Ryzeal. I didn't really see it the rest of the night. It was a very weird night in terms of like what cards I did and did not see. For next on Ninja, we are actually, the next big change, we're actually on triple Metaltronus now. I think Metaltronus is still very good in this format. This is why we're not on Nibiru's. If we were not playing Metaltronus, I could see double Nibiru, one Effect Veiler taking the slot. But a lot of decks play around Nibiru now. Blue Eyes can play around Nibiru. Blue Eyes can purposely try to end their turn to bait out Nibiru and then still play underneath Nibiru. It's disgusting. And then the last non-engine, we are on the 1 talents, the 1 thrust, and 1 called by the grave. A reason why for 1 talents, 1 thrust, I know some lists are just running the 2 talents. I really feel like you have to run thrust in this deck, especially if you're playing the just pure version of this deck, because if we get drolled, if we get shifted, going thrust set woes is like the only interaction, the only plays that we can do. Also, talents can be a dead card if they don't do, like if they don't interact in main phase with like Effect Veil or Ash Blossom, but instead just like Mulcharmy, Folos you in your draw phase or standby phase, talents is still dead, so thrust can still activate in that case. So thrust is still very good. For side deck, for extra deck, we're of course on the White Forest names, never changes, but we are also on the 1 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon as our Metatronus target. I actually went and bought a Blue Eyes structured deck just so I could get this name to call with Metatronus to banish this card if they happen to go combo. But what Metatronus can also do is if they end on just Sphere's Pass, we can go Metatronus, call Light 0. You can either summon out your Stellar if you just need like level 2 fodder, or even better, you could summon out your Azamina LZ, since its effects are negated. But a Stellar's big thing is like we synchro it off. It will come back as soon as we activate Resilient effect to send a spell or trap. LZ Azamina, we don't need its effects because its effects are in the graveyard. We synchro it off and we add the Sinful Spoils card. So Metatronus is actually like pretty decent in this deck, pretty good against this deck. Does some fun things against in this deck against Blue Eyes. And then of course we are on the 1 Chaos Angel. For fusions, we are on the Chorizo, Muracil, Yugioh, Alias Sevilla, Solar Stygian, and Guardian Chimera. That hasn't changed since the previous lists. I don't think it will change. I will say Soul Aristichian, a lot of people are cutting this card. I understand it being cut in FIENDSMITH variants of the deck because you just don't have the extra deck space. But this card is so key to breaking boards, and it was so key last night to breaking boards because going second, you just summon out the Soul Aristichian to get a targeted send. Then you go special summon back your Sylvie or your Rusia from the grave by shuffling back your Resilia. Make Light and Dark Chaos Angel to get a banish. I ended one game with just like Chaos Angel, level 8 Synchro Diabell attacking, and then Scourge my own Diabell, targeting my Chaos Angel, bring back the Diabell, attack again for lethal. For links, we are still on the Artemis, the IP Masquerena, and the SP Little Knight. IP Masquerena is here just as board ender. If we don't know what deck our opponent's playing, like usually game 1, we're ending on IP Masquerena, Diabell, Elias Sevilla as like layered interaction. Artemis unbricks your hands a lot of the times. And then we are on the 1 Abyss Dweller, because we gotta actually make this card with lines in this deck if we know they're on a graveyard deck. And then we are on the 1 Typhon. We finally got our copy, yay! Never got to use it. And then for sideboard, we are on, of course, the 3 Artifact Lancia, the Malice Tax. This sideboard is going to change when I get to like YCS regional competition and see more Malice and Ryzeal. But honestly, a lot of people are starting to play it now in my locals, so we might have to change it up regardless. We are on newly used Bestial package, or newly added Bestial package of Magnuma and Jewess Worm. This actually came up against the Live Twin FIENDSMITH line. Is going game 2. I still didn't know what the deck my opponent was on because he scooped before playing anything after I went full combo. So I was just like, okay, side in these Bestials, maybe they'll be good. Most people have Light and Dark monsters. And then side in these Ghost Ogres. And turns out it was very good against their deck because they go normal summon Kiss the Kill, summon Lila, link off, try and bring back the Lila, and I was like, no, Bestial Jewess Worm. Bestial is very good in this format. Bestial is good against Blue Eyes. I don't really know what else I could possibly side in this format for shutting down the Blue Eyes decks. We'll see. We'll try more in playtesting. I don't like going to time in my victories because I feel like had it been like an untimed round or something, I probably would have lost that matchup. I probably would have gotten outgrinded. Then we are on the triple Ultimate Slayer, of course. Very good card going second. And then we are on what's supposed to be triple Solemn Judgment. But I don't have a third Solemn Judgment. I had to borrow one from a buddy while I was playing. So we have the Solemn Strike for now. You can run Solemn Strike in the slot. You can run triple Solemn Strike in the slot. Just, I want to hedge more against Blue Eyes as well. And the Solemn Judgment being able to encounter a spell or trap activation. So using this on a True Light, using this on the Primite card. I'd much rather have this than negating a special summon or monster effect. And then finally, the one Harpy's Feather Duster and the one Aggregator for Ultimate Slayer and Metaltronus targets. Metaltronus target for Malice, and then Ultimate Slayer target for Ryzeal. So I definitely see if Metaltronus doesn't work out, we'll probably just switch back to Nibiru Effect Veiler as hand trap options. But I like having more access to spells and traps. I think we have plenty of spells and traps. And also, a lot of decks are playing around Nibiru right now, ending before their 5th summon or making Omni before their 5th summon. And then also, I don't want to turn on Triple Tactics Talent on my opponent's turn. So again, we are on 42 cards with this list. Again, I don't want to go up more than that without having access to mulch armies to help thin out the deck and also stop opponent from playing or make the opponent wary from playing through them. But I could definitely see there being a couple of cards that you can cut to go down if you want to go down to 40, like cutting down on a Diabella Star, cutting down on a Black Goat Laughs, some of the redundant cards if you want to go down into a 40 card deck. But I still don't think we're done with this deck yet. I don't think we're exactly where we want it to be, where we're able to have good percentage points over all the matchups. You still get blown out by Droll and Dimension Shifter. I think that's just the caveat that comes with playing White Forest. There's not really anything you can do to hedge against that without making your deck a lot worse. I don't want this video to go too long, so if you do want to see a test hand video, let me know down in the comments below. And of course, while you're there, remember to like and subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And we will follow it up. We'll shuffle up and do a test hand video with this new prepared list as well. Of course, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, good night.